Ah, where do I start? Life is yours for the taking, as if it's something to be had. It's something to be lived and experienced. Like, every single moment we live is just us expressing ourselves in some weird way where it's like, you know, our attention can be pushed, pulled, and directed in so many different ways. It's like, in a sense, it's how we express ourselves, what matters to us, what we find important at that current time. For the most part, life just happens, and what we do with it is important. It's important, to say the least. It's you. It's you at everything, like in a non egotistical way. It's like you are the center of your world, and the other people around you help define you and show you who you also are, in a sense. Because it's like sometimes we do live in relation to other people. If we want to put some labels on it, it's like, I'm a brother, I'm a son, I'm a, whatever, I'm a friend. And who am I to these people? And I think that's just on a human relation level, like communication. Who are we to them? Am I a friend, a lover? And how do we interact, and how do we set that up for ourselves? Because sometimes we could be too scared to speak our mind to some certain people. And then sometimes, in some places, it's correct not to say things. Let things play out. Because think about it. You're not going to tell your boss, oh, if you're trying to essentially just tell them they're wrong. Like, there's a way about doing it, a way about going around it. And sometimes there's ways that things can be communicated and told that are better. Obviously, it's like you don't ever want to yell, you don't ever want to speak aggressively, or even passive, like a passive aggressive. Sometimes things need to be said, some things need to be withheld, or maybe just shift their perspective. And maybe sometimes you have to shift your own. That's the thing. I find it funny how it's like online, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. Things are kind of pushed within your own algorithm, right? It's like whatever you like is going to constantly show you it. It's going to constantly show what you like. And, if you're aware enough, or, I guess self-conscious enough, it's like you won't fall into a loop of one word is parasocial, another word is just in these echo chambers. Because sometimes the beliefs these people can have can be extreme. For a majority of it, it's not, but there's still that chance, still that place where it can happen. And I also find it interesting that it's like we become more rigid the more we get stuck in that algorithm. These videos, just what we like, and then we never really try and explore anything new, something that we would have never expected. And it's like to see something from a different view, essentially. Because even on my own personal level, I watch YouTube, obviously. Like, I'll usually watch like streamers, the videos they put on YouTube, right? And over time, even just the people I watch are different. But not even just that, but it's like the content too, the actual videos. I'll watch, of course, streamers, right? But then out of nowhere, I saw a history video. I can't remember a specific channel. Oh, and I also just saw some random video. I can't remember what it was even about, but it was by Thoughty2. It was just something about history. And I'm not gonna lie, I got hooked on him. It was a different view on life and things that happen, and then we just like taking a chance to just to try something different and just enjoying it for what it is. And if you didn't like it, oh well, you know now. You know now. And sometimes I feel as if we run away from things. I sometimes catch myself doing things like that too. Sometimes catch myself just trying to avoid things I know I need to focus, or at least put my focus on for a moment, because it's not like it's gonna take forever. It could just be a momentary thing, but it's like you put it off just because whatever thoughts you're having at the time, you know. For me, sometimes it's like I'll just avoid just checking my phone just because it's like I don't want to be bothered. But sometimes I do need to have it on me just in case a message ever comes through that's like, oh, either some plans getting made or something that I need to know. And that's the thing, it's like I'm very terrible at responding, very slow. And I don't know, sometimes it's just I don't notice, other times it's like I don't want to be on my phone. Like, not that it's a bad or a good thing, it's just that sometimes I be avoiding. I can't think of other specific things, but for the most part I've put it upon myself to try and just be urgent, in a sense. Be urgent, because it's procrastinating. That's, I guess, a better way of saying it. Procrastinating. Thinking I have time, thinking I can put it aside. And then just time passes, and oh wow, look what happened. I need it done now. Or I should have had it done. In school, I usually always had my assignments done. But if there was ever a time where I didn't have it done already, I'd kind of procrastinate. Or even so, it's like, like, I don't know, I have a bad habit of sometimes putting stuff off just because it's like, I don't have that sense of urgency at times. And that's when I most need to remind myself, like, you know, make every action count. And if I don't do it, then be okay with it. Be okay with it. For some people, I'd assume some people, it's like, I don't want to be on my phone so much. I don't like how my screen time's at like 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. And then you kind of just beat yourself up for it. But in all reality, it's like, nah, you did it. Cool. Just be cool with it. And the next time, it's like, be a bit more conscious about it. Be a bit more aware about it. Okay, let me just, even if it's just 10 minutes less, 20 minutes less, what could I do instead? What could I do instead? Just take my eyes away from this and do something else that means something to me. Because that's something I also figured, it's like, we kind of just add meaning to things, have feelings for motivation, in a sense. Like, also in like learning too, we have an emotional response. That's what I find out. Boom, you put your hand on stuff. That hurt. I have a feeling, like the feeling hurts. So I learned not to do it. Oh, 2 + 2 = 4. Oh, okay, I got that bit of excitement. We just kind of attach feelings to learning at times. That's what I find interesting. I'll play soccer and it's like I do a move right, or I'm just moving so fluidly. It's like, okay, it becomes exciting. It's thrilling. It's like a sort of passion, I guess you can say. And life is crazy, because it's like, I'm not necessarily old, depending on who you ask, but I feel as if there's just a lot to experience, a lot to figure out, and a lot to try. And I can't do everything. I understand that. I can't try everything. I can't, put my attention on everything. I'm one person. I can't expect too much of myself. But I still hold myself to a certain standard. I'm not so lost in trying to become this superhuman where I forget that I'm not. I'm still human. I'm still only capable of certain amount of things within a certain amount of time. I have 24 hours. I'm not getting no extra time to do more tasks. And if anything, I shouldn't want to. I shouldn't want to overburden myself. Sometimes you can push yourself, but other things you get kind of pulled to it. It just becomes kind of natural for you. Just kind of fun. Something you're actually interested in. And I'm still figuring out more about what it is. Sometimes it changes, sometimes it stays. For me, what stayed is soccer. Something that's not really interested in me no more is like, I don't know. I guess being on my phone. It doesn't even have to be active. It could just be like little things you like and don't like. I don't really like soda now. I don't really drink it. I don't really pay no mind. And I guess on top of that, it's like just thinking about like, I don't want to say addictions, but it's like things you can't kind of let go of, right? Like a sort of attachment, because some people just, I guess addiction is the word I'm gonna just substitute it with, but it's like sometimes we don't need things, but it's like the moment when we don't need it is when we can have it. I'm not saying like harmful substances, none of that. I'm just saying like small little things, like let's say soda. The moment I don't care for soda no more is like when I feel as if I'm allowed to have soda. Like I'm not dependent on it. I guess that's the easiest way to explain it. I'm not dependent on it. Like I can go a day, a week, a month without drinking it. I can go a day, a week, a month, and I drink one. And it's like, okay, it's whatever. And I guess one thing that's really just stuck with me is like our own lifestyle, how much that can affect both body and mind, what we do to put ourselves at ease and what we do to kind of just push ourselves, both physically and mentally, obviously, working out in some form of sport, yoga, whatever, going to the gym, just because I know some people don't like going to the gym. It's like pick up a sport. You don't always have to be doing stuff with friends. Like imagine basketball, you can just shoot 3 points, shots. I don't know, I don't play basketball. For me, it's soccer. You can do soccer drills. I guess it's basketball drills too, but just things like that, running routes for football, and just having some sort of physical activity. Because from what I remember, it's like a certain amount of exercise helps your brain just function better. And also just being outside, vitamin D, for me personally, it makes me feel happier, more at ease, just having a bit of sunlight in my system. And I remember I was watching a Dr. K video where he said the same kind of thing, where it's like if you have some sort of vitamin D deficiency, it can make you sad or depressed. I don't remember which word he used specifically, but so it's just interesting seeing how the way we interact with life just affects us personally on a deep emotional, mental, and physical level. And that's not to say you have to be extreme on all of them, because I'm definitely not. I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't eat, like if we're saying what we eat, It's like I don't want to eat healthy stuff, but I don't only eat junk food. I'm somewhere in the middle. I enjoy me a bag of chips at times. I also enjoy me a bag of carrots. You feel me? Like, a lot of it is just finding out what works for us. What works for us and what period of life we're in. Like, because I don't expect where I'm at now to be the same kind of lifestyle I'm living 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And I don't necessarily think it should, because I'm not living the same way I did 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And maybe it's a sort of thing with maturity and mindset, but at the same time, it's like, even if we say like a year ago and a year in the future, who knows what's gonna change. And I'm accepting of it. I'm open to it. And that's where I will be at. That's where I chose to be at, where I took myself, and where life also just kind of presented itself as. I believe it's like everything, where we're at for a reason. Where we are at for a reason. Who knows the reason? Who knows what lessons we need to learn? But we're here for a reason. And if you know something has to change, then what is it that has to change? What is it? Because if you're not happy, not content, for the most part, you're just kind of chilling. Not everything is just sunshine and rainbows, but not. Like, you just be calm for most of the time. At least that's my own experience. I just be calm. But if someone wants to disturb it, it's like, what is it? And sometimes I find myself just stressing about things in my own mind, and it's like, okay, I'm feeling out of touch with myself. Let me just take some time, just be to myself for a bit, just think, just feel, just relax, be at ease, just with myself, essentially. No one else, just me. And I guess these videos are a form of it too. Where I'm able to just kind of express my mind and say what I think and mean what I say, in a sense. Because it's one thing if I'm like saying everything and it's like I don't really mean it. That would just, I don't know, that's just something for me personally that I wouldn't be able to live with. Just constantly putting some sort of mask. That's interesting. I do wonder, it's like, if we choose, our own life, our own path, with obviously help and influences from people, it leads us to where we are. But what if we only had a mask on? Would we really even call it our lives? And in some weird way, I guess so, because we chose to wear the mask out of whatever reason. So I guess so. But sometimes I do think it's like, as much as we should care for ourselves, as much as we should, treat ourselves well, I think we should also treat others just as good. Obviously, the old saying, do unto others as you'd want unto yourself. And I don't even believe that. Like, that's the end of it. I think it's like, if someone's still being, mean to you in a light sense of the word, it's like, obviously you don't have to be good to them, but you can just be indifferent. It's a lot of nuance, I guess. Just being still. And maybe in the future, different perspectives, different things, different ideas may pop up as to many different areas of my life, and that's what I find interesting. There's never one right path. There's never one right way to do something. There's never just one right thing. And one door leads to a different path, and a different door leads to a different one. And I will never know what's on the other one, on the one I didn't choose. And who knows? Heavy contemplation on whichever path you choose to go. But don't get stuck in thought. That's one thing. Don't get stuck in your own head when life is just passing. It's going. You're constantly going. Your body's growing, getting older, and it's like you can't just stay in your own head. At some point, you can only think so long when the action itself may have been a tenth of whatever it took, however long you thought about it. Because imagine, I'm thinking, okay, I want to train for soccer, but where, when, what time? All these questions sort of pop up, and there's obviously answers for them. What drills am I going to do? Okay, do I have the stuff? Okay, all good thoughts to have, because it leads to solutions. It leads to solutions, but it's the time when it's like, what if this happened? You start adding in so many factors that probably don't matter. They probably don't matter, and you probably can't expect it. And I guess it becomes way more nuanced and crazy when it's like it's another person. Imagine just talking to someone. What do I say? I don't think there is a right thing to say. You just say what you say, and wherever it leads, it goes. You listen, you ask questions, you give your own response, you say whatever you say. There's no right way to talk to a person. There's not. You just talk. And it's that moment where we get stuck out of our head, just say, how's your day going? It doesn't have to be some full-blown conversation. It can just be a hello and goodbye. We don't have to overthink so much. We don't need to do all that. Sometimes just a simple step is all it takes. And obviously some things require more thought than others, obviously. So I can't downplay the idea of just thinking. But it's just, when is the action gonna come? When are we gonna take an action? When are we gonna take a step forward? That's a real question. Even so, it's like, I find it interesting how it's like how well we treat ourselves is like, it genuinely shows. Treat ourselves well, life feels well, it feels good. If you treat yourself poorly, everything just feels bad. Everything just feels bad. And even so, it's like, I don't know, how do you fix it? How do you fix something like that? It's probably many things, few things, some things they may have never thought of. Sometimes you do need help. And I'm glad that that's just an option now. I'm glad it's so much just more accepted to find help and just be getting that. I think that's great. Nothing wrong with that. And sometimes it's like, it's also just being able to take matters into our own hands at times too. You can talk about things, you can say, this is how I feel, this is what I think, and those feelings and those thoughts are genuinely valid. And sometimes an action just doesn't have to be done. Sometimes we just fall asleep and the feelings just disappear. Sometimes we just need rest. We just need to recover. We aren't necessarily always supposed to feel stress. If anything, we're not really supposed to feel stress. Just thinking about like back then, I'd assume the only time they necessarily feel stress is like they see a tiger or something and they have to just run, you know. But now we got so many things on our mind, so many things on our plate where we're just constantly stressed. Just, I have to worry about this, that, and it's very stressing. That's what I see out for some people. Some are in bigger holes than others. Doesn't mean you can't get out though. You know, all you need is patience, time, and just a plan. And awareness, if anything. Awareness, look where I'm at. Where am I heading to? And this is just life. It's life. You know, everyone we meet along the way, they're living their own lives. And just kind of meet them in the middle. I have my view, my thoughts, you have yours, and we just kind of intertwine. But even so, it's like, I'm just thinking about social media, and it's like the kind of bubble we can put ourselves in. It's crazy. It's really crazy how we can get so trapped in a bubble. Because even so, it's like the self-improvement, self-help, that can be its own bubble in itself. Just constantly thinking. Although, I feel like that's a better thing because you're kind of just taking in knowledge, but then it's like, when will you apply? When will you apply it? Learning all this stuff, and it's like, you still don't feel the best. There's a variety of reasons, so I can't say, you know, there's one solution to all, but it's just like, is there some sort of effort being made? You know, and I do think that things are somewhat getting better. More awareness is being put on just the stress and how people are feeling and things of that nature. But at the same time, I just see other issues popping up, and it's like, that doesn't look too well. You know, some mixed bag of just good and bad. You know, living is expensive. But then it's like, we're also able to just feel. So, imagine just other scenarios. Imagine just having a poor state of living, your circumstances and things like that. I have no doubt that affects you mentally. It's like, and the thing is there's two ways to take it. You know, you can say, okay, I don't want to be here no more. I'm gonna hustle, I'm gonna grind, I'm, you know, in this sort of mindset. And the result, who knows? But I'd love to believe, you know, everyone just makes it out, or makes it where, you know, they're able to just live proper. But there's still that side of the coin where it's like, they still struggle. And hopefully they don't fall into some sort of resentment with the world. Why is everything not going my way? Why me? Why me? Hopefully they don't fall into that. You know, I do think it happens at times, and I do feel for them. You know, it's a bit unfair, I won't lie. But I don't think life was ever fair to begin with. You know, just give a helping hand when you can. That's something I've tried doing as often as I can. But that's just not to ignore my own problems, my own things in my own mind. Just do a loving act when possible. I don't even know, honestly. I just really just felt like talking. Obviously, right? There's no sort of direction. I was just following my mind, as always. It was very calming to me, though. I find this very calming, very soothing, and I do just tend just to forget that the camera's there, so I just like look off, and I'll just forget. I'll just be so calm. I feel so calm. Like, I guess even just, in my personal, I'm a relatively calm person. I still feel all the feelings though. Like, of course, if I get annoyed, I'm annoyed, but it's like, I don't know how to express everything. Like, I'll be like, yo, I'm annoyed, but I don't know how to express it, I guess. Or like, angry. FIFA be getting me so angry for no reason. That is one of the games that be like, just because it's like some things will happen, like it'll be like a bad pass or they won't run up, and I'm like, no, like it'll genuinely get me upset. And that's funny. That is funny. But I still enjoy the game somehow. I still enjoy it, although it gets me upset at times. But there was something on my mind. I just can't remember what. Guess we can just take a deep breath, and just relax. It's not the end of the world. If anything, for a lot of us, life is just starting. That's what I find crazy. But still, time just passes and passes and passes, and it's like, yo, it's crazy how that works. Crazy. I'm gonna just leave it off there, honestly. I'm gonna just leave it off there. It's been getting a bit colder, but I like the cold, I'm not gonna lie. I prefer over the heat, especially here. I'd be dying. It's too hot. But during like autumn, fall, be some good temperatures. Like, it just be feeling good. I'd be enjoying spring or fall better over winter and summer, obviously. But other than that, I'm gonna just leave it off there. Thank you if you watched. If you didn't, wish you the best. See ya.